What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back to another movie review. And today we are talking about 2025's The Running Man from director Edgar Wright, who has done some other things like Baby Driver, Scott Pilgrim, Last Night in Soho. I haven't seen that yet, but I do want to see it. Shaun of the Dead, I don't think I've seen that either. Hot Fuzz, also with Simon Pegg, so I think I might have to go back and watch some of those early 2000s funny movies. But Baby Driver I've definitely seen from Edgar Wright, and that was an awesome film. And Edgar Wright was supposed to do Ant-Man back in the day, but never ended up coming to fruition. And I still would like to see him get a movie like that and crush it, because his directing in this was very good. But I don't know if it was the movie's fault or the theater's fault. Our theater, when we went to see this the other night, me and my buddy, my roommate, saw it on Saturday. It was so loud in the theater itself. I don't know if they turned it up to drown out like the music from Wicked, because obviously that was playing a lot all weekend. But it was so loud in our theater, like so loud that like I was going from like sitting normally to like I was sitting like this, like I was in a bubble because of how like I was just like, oh my goodness, you know, like I was like contained into myself because of how loud it was, you know, like but like it didn't stop us from like enjoying it. It was just like, you know, at any moment an explosion could happen and you would go from like, oh Jesus, you know, like it was so loud it felt like the explosion was near you, you know what I mean? It was like, Jesus Christ, it was loud. But the cast is unreal. Glen Powell as Ben Richards, I absolutely loved this character. Brolin, Josh Brolin's in here as the bad guy. He's kind of perfect as the bad guy. He's got like these fake phosphorescent white teeth in, and it looks like he's just a prick, and he's very good at playing that prick. Michael Cera's in here as like a guy that's helping him out along the way, and my roommate afterwards was like, who the fuck was that guy? I know him from somewhere. Where? And I go, oh, Superbad, that's Michael Cera. He goes, you know, he's like, fuck, I knew him, you know, like, but he's older now. He's got a beard, he's got, you know, longer hair, he's got a mustache and shit, and he's like a more, you know, prestigious actor. He was in Barbie, for God's sakes, you know, like he's not just Superbad anymore. Lee Pace was in here as the guy with the mask. He actually played a pretty good villain with that mask. Evan McCone, Jayme Lawson, who I know as the mayor in The Batman, for Rob Pattinson's The Batman, and it looks like she was in The Woman King. She was also Perline in Sinners. It looks like she hasn't done too much, actually, in only 9 movies. But Jayme Lawson is going to be a absolutely stud from here on out going forward. I promise you. She's been in 2 of the biggest films this year, The Running Man and Sinners. Probably going to be the biggest movie of the year, I think. You know, and the only reason the Sinners won't win the Oscar is because it came out early in the year. You know, if that movie came out right now, getting ready for the Oscar push, I think Sinners would be blowing up all over again. And watch, you know, like last year, Dune Part 2 should have won at the Oscars, but it was too early in the year, so that it got forgotten about by the end of the year. I'm telling you, Sinners should win, and if it doesn't, that's some bullshit. William H. Macy's in here for a moment. He's pretty great. Amelia Jones, David Zayas. Katie O'Brien's in here as well. I really like Katie O'Brien, you know, Sean Hayes. One of the dudes, Martin Hurley from Please Don't Destroy, one of the SNL guys, you know, like one of the other SNL guys is in here as a voice announcer. This brief Easter egg in there as well. At the very beginning of the movie, they showed the money, and this is like, you know, it's our world, but it's also supposed to be like, you know, a fake world where like a fake fictional 2025 where like there's the currency, the old currency's not worth shit, and there's new dollars, and on the face of the new dollars, just like our money has presidents on the dollars, this new dollar has the current president in this universe on the dollar, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was the original Running Man film star, and also, you know what I mean, like governor of California. So he logically was like, oh, you know who the president is in this universe? Arnold, why not, you know? So, and it was a brief little Easter egg, but I loved that that was included in there as well. Colman Domingo as like the host was absolutely unbelievable, you know? So like the cast in this was absolute studs. Would I have liked watching it at home? maybe, you know, like, I don't know if it's a necessary watch for in the theaters. I mean, me and my buddy had a good time with the rest of the crowd, but, you know, I think we would have had the same good time watching it at home, you know, especially with the setup I have. I have a pretty good movie watching setup, you know, with the sound bar and the lights and everything, you know, so, like, I don't know. I think it would have been pretty good at home. It was pretty good in theaters. Overall, for me, I gave this film 3.5 out of 5 stars, about a 7 out of 10. If I had to give it a true 10 score, it's probably like a 7.1, 7.2, you know, like it's probably right around that 7, you know, and it earned all of that 7 with the action and the dope action of it all, and Glen Powell's physique, absolutely ripped, and like, he's not just ripped and skinny, he's like ripped and also still kind of big, but he's not bulky, right? Like, he's not like Superman, where like, he got super big in the chest and the arms, but he didn't really have like this chiseled six-pack. And like, sometimes guys are big up top and then they have this really skinny waist, where it felt like Glen Powell was big up top, but then all the way through right to the junk muscles, if you know what I mean. Like, the V muscle and the abdomen was also like protruding and jacked, and we were both like, both straight men in theaters. He's like shirtless for just like a quick second, and I'm like, God damn, you know, like, I was just like, whew, I would love to be that jacked. But also, funny ass part, he's like, well, I have to record something of me doing something so you guys can watch me nap. And he lays down on bed in his tighty whities and slaps his ass. And that was a shot in the trailer, but my buddy didn't see the trailer, so when that part happened in the movie, he laughed hard as fuck. He was like, ah, tighty whities, Glen Powell's ass. And then later in the movie, he's climbing down this rope. This was definitely the funniest laugh for me. He's climbing down this rope in a towel, and he's like, it's like hooked up to a letter on top of the building, and the letter falls, and the letter is the letter Y, and he falls, and he like almost falls straight to the ground, and he's like holding on to the rope, and he looks up at the letter and just goes, why? You know, like, he's angry, he's asking the question, but he's also just like reading what he's seeing, and he's like, fucking why? You know, like, stay still, would you? So he takes off the towel that's on him, and he punches through the glass so he can break into this place, and, and so now his ass is out, and he's naked, and it's like, wow, good for Glen Powell. You know, like, not a lot of man nudity you see these days, you know, like, and if there is, it's normally like blurred, or like he's wearing like a little towel or something. Like, maybe Glen Powell wasn't this, but you saw all of that jackedness and you saw all that ass. So I know the ladies in the crowd must have been like, ooh, Glen Powell butt, you know, like. But, you know, I'm not there for the ass, but I also, you know, thinking about it as him as an actor, I'm like, hey, good for you, man. You show it, you got that jacked body and that jacked ass, show it a little bit, why not? Make those ladies go, ooh, you know, like, I know a few in the crowd did for us. They went, ooh, you know, with their boyfriends too. And they were like, oh, honey, I wish you looked like that. And they're like, hey, fuck you, bitch. But overall, you know, that's the score for me. I'd love to hear your score out of 5 or 10 stars, whatever you gave this film. Oh, and there was one other part, like, he's interviewing and they're asking him questions, and every question he's answering is just like angrier than, like, the answer is angrier than the last. And like, the questions are fairly simple, and he's just like, you know, gritting his teeth, like, you can just tell he's seething anger, like, just, you know, like, just full anger just in his pores. And he finishes the interview and the lady goes, you have to be the most angry contestant that's ever auditioned for the show. And he just goes, and that pisses me off. And my roommate looked at me and went, this is so you. Like, I just enjoyed and identified with how angry Ben Richards was. You know, like, Glen Powell was so angry in this movie, especially, like, this is before he's getting chased down. And by, like, the point he's chased down, he's getting lied to, and he's trying to get, people are trying to kill him, and he's getting chased, and they're trying to kill him, and they're cheating, and they're fucking him over, and they're lying, and they're, you know, so he's just getting angrier, and angrier, and angrier, but instead of turning into the Hulk, he just turns into me, and he's just an angry man going, filming me, grabbing the camera, smashing it, you know, like, Glen Powell took a beating for this movie, and he also got very angry for this movie, and I identified with both things. And I thought it was pretty good. Survived 30 days and while the whole world hunts you down and you win a bunch of money, and like, I don't know, maybe there could be a second film to this, but also it kind of ended in a way that like, yeah, one film, there isn't going to be a second one. Very satisfying note. Some people, we were in the bathroom after, and there was some people that walked out with us that were like, that ending sucked. And, you know, I just thought it was a ballsy move for this day and age to like get to the point where like it's going, bam, done. You know, like that's the credits. Like it like cut to credits pretty sharply, but the way that it did it, it was like, yep, that's the end of it. Like there is no, like, sure, he could have done that bang and then had a couple more scenes, but why? You know what I mean? Like the scene that he would have done after it, he kind of had right before it. So the scene at the very end is the end of the movie. Maybe there will be another one. Probably not. There won't be another one. And this was just a good, solid action movie, a one-time done deal. Great cast, great watch. Don't regret it even in the slightest. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the movie, though. You know, do you want to see this again? Did you go and see it in theaters? Do you want to see it once it comes out of theaters and you can rent it at home? I'm sorry if I spoiled this for you, if you didn't want any spoilers. But yeah, it's a pretty damn good action movie. And yeah, I really enjoyed this cast. I enjoyed Edgar Wright's directing style and the style to this movie. And like the energy to it. And it just keeps moving. And there was a pretty good pace to it. It wasn't like stalling. But there was so much happening that like I couldn't pick a good moment to take a piss. You know, so we were just, by the end of it, we were about to piss our pants. We were like, all right, we got to run to the bathroom as soon as it ended. So if there's a post-credit scene, let me know, because I certainly did not stick around through the credits because we had to go to the bathroom. But yeah, very good. I enjoyed. Currently out in theaters now. Go check it out if you haven't. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this down in the comment section below, or you can send them to me on my other social medias. Links for those down in the description below. But if you've made it this far into the video and you would like to support the channel, the best way to do that is liking this video, commenting down in the comment section below, subscribing if you haven't already, and hitting that bell so you don't miss future movie reviews and you get the notifications when those come out. Once again, my name is Big Cam, and I'll see you beautiful people in the next video. Peace!